Candace with Community Clinic.
And I'm Amanda Eddy, also with Community Clinic, and I work underneath the Northwest Arkansas Tobacco and Drug Free Coalition.
Thank you so much for joining us for our second video talking about tobacco cessation and your journey to a tobacco-free future and a tobacco-free life. Today we have a really exciting topic to really discuss what happens when you stop using tobacco and what are some of the different effects when you use tobacco products that you start to see on a regular basis as far as cravings and triggers and what steps to take moving forward. So Amanda's going to start us off today talking about the really exciting things that happen inside your body once you quit using tobacco.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different things that happen. Some as soon as within seconds to minutes of when you smoke your last cigarette. So I'm going to kind of walk through some of those things that happen kind of immediately health-wise. As we kind of talked about in the first video, we talked a lot about how tobacco impacts the body. So feel free to go back and give that a listen. But we're going to kind of talk about now, so when you quit tobacco, what exactly happens? So I'm going to kind of read off this list here just to make sure that I get everything correct and in order. So within 20 minutes, your blood pressure and heart rate decrease. Within 8 hours, the level of oxygen in your blood rises to normal. In 24 hours, your risk of heart attack starts to drop. In 2 days, your senses of smell and taste get better. Within 2 weeks to 3 months, your circulation and lung function improve. Within 1 to 9 months, coughing, sinus problems, and shortness of breath decrease, and you have more energy. So a lot of this happens very quickly when you stop smoking cigarettes. So these are kind of some things to keep in mind when you do quit tobacco, some immediate sort of health benefits you'll start seeing. So we mentioned as well, it's a hard process to quit tobacco because of nicotine dependency. And so I'm going to kind of give some basic definitions of what a craving is, what a trigger is, and then we'll kind of go more in depth about how those can kind of impact you quitting tobacco. So a craving, by definition, is a powerful desire for something. That could be food. In this case, we're talking about smoking, but, there's powerful cravings. Another definition is a trigger, which is an event or situation that causes someone to do something. And Abby's going to kind of talk a little bit more about how those two relate to tobacco smoking.
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of different things that go into how cravings and triggers affect your tobacco use. And if you've been a long-term smoker or dip user, you're no stranger to this, and you might be aware of some of the things that trigger you to grab a cigarette or grab your can of dip, but some of them you might not be aware of. Some really common ones that I've heard over the years with people who are trying to quit smoking is every morning they love that fresh smell of coffee when they turn that pot on in the morning. And they go and grab their cup, and it's just so nice and relaxing to grab that cup of coffee and go sit on your porch and enjoy that while you're waking up in the morning. But a lot of the times, those people can't enjoy that cup of coffee unless they have a cigarette in their hands. And so that is an automatic trigger for you when you're grabbing a cup of coffee in the morning. Oftentimes, if you smoke in your car, driving to work might be an extreme trigger for you. You might not realize that every time you pull up at that one stoplight, you're also reaching for your pack of cigarettes. So there's a lot of things that we can unconsciously do that will affect our use of tobacco products. And so it's really important that when we start talking about wanting to quit using them, there's some major preparations that we have to go through. So what do you think would be some really good preparations to take place in the home if you were getting ready to quit smoking, especially if you're a big time coffee drinker or maybe you smoke in the home, some other things like that?
Yeah, for sure. One of the things is if you have ashtrays kind of all over your house or packets of cigarettes, get them all together and put them in one place. So that way you know where they're at, prepare yourself. And in terms of coffee drinking, if that is something, maybe you can look at switching to a tea or waiting to have coffee. Don't have coffee at home. Maybe put it in like a thermo take it to work with you. Maybe you can't smoke at your work, so start kind of drinking coffee somewhere else where maybe you can't have access to that cigarette. Just kind of simple stuff that may help kind of alleviate those cravings for you. Those could be some options as well.
Definitely. And as humans, we are total creatures of habit. So when we just change up just a little bit of our morning routine or our daily routine, we really go out of this mindless mode where we run through that same routine and we have to think about what we're doing. So maybe you can't give up that cup of coffee. I know myself, I'm a huge caffeine addict, so thinking
sure.
about giving something up would be so hard. But maybe sitting on your porch drinking your coffee that's the tough thing. And so if we can just change where you enjoy that cup of coffee, maybe you don't smoke inside. So maybe that means I need to enjoy my cup of coffee inside in the morning so that I'm not tempted to go outside and smoke while I'm drinking it. Or another good thing is if you've been a big time tobacco user in your house, do some really deep cleaning. You'd be surprised, wash your walls, wash your clothes, clean off your couch, try to vacuum it really good, throw some baking soda on the carpet, just so you can try to get that smell out of your house, and it will really be easier for you when you're not having just those mindless subconscious triggers on the same page, with you every day.
Yeah, for sure. And there could be situations like maybe you smoke a lot with certain friend groups or certain family members, and that can be challenging because you really like hanging out with these people. Maybe you drink and smoke at the same time and you have to kind of adjust those behaviors. So there's a lot of different things, and we'll kind of go more in depth about, goal setting and how to kind of work out those situations and sort of some further videos. But there's a lot of things to kind of keep in mind. For a lot of people, smoking is a social sort of a way for them to socialize with others and take a break. And so, there's a lot of things to unpack, and, we'll go more in depth on some later videos.
Definitely. And my one take home advice today would be, say you're a week or two out from when you really want to put down that pack and you're just talking about it right now, then I'd say starting today, pay attention to every cigarette you put in your mouth. Pay attention to every dip you put in your mouth. Write it down on a sticky note. What time is it? What are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you upset right now, or are you bored right now? Keep some notes for a 24-hour period and see, where does every tobacco use fall onto my daily calendar, so that you can start to tackle some of those routine habits and start changing them when you're ready. But that's, I think, all we've got for you guys today. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you've got any questions or comments on these videos, feel free to leave them below. And
feel free to follow us on our social media pages, Community Clinic NWA, and then at NWA TDFC. Feel free to follow us there. We post a lot of different updates and more information. So
yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
all right, bye.
Bye-bye.